Welcome back. We're discussing the challenges facing Afghanistan as it heads to the polls on Thursday and the likely impact of these elections. I'm joined by Sayed Khalilullah Hashimian, the editor of the bi-monthly Afghanistan Monitor, who joins us from Los Angeles, California. With me here in the studio is Alexander Thayer, a former legal advisor to the Afghan government, who's currently with the U.S. Institute of Peace, and Dr. Nadir Atash, a former senior advisor to the Afghan Finance and Transport Ministries. As we get back to questions, Dr. Atash, a response really to Mustafa, who called in from Afghanistan. One of the things he was getting at is the idea of people who who are educated, who have got some sort of position of authority, staying in Afghanistan.
Unfortunately, the people who really made a difference initially in the life of Afghanistan in terms of bringing competency, professionalism, many of them had to return back because of the massive corruption in the Afghan government, and it was very hard for them to stay there. And I can name a lot of names, and as a result, the Afghan government became much weaker, and corruption rose, and there were no checks and balances and in fact, I suggest to my dear friend, Mr. Mustafa, to read my book, because that's exactly what I've tried to outline in a very, and it's a nonfiction with all the, so it really details the dark politics in Afghanistan, and I don't have time to go over this.
No, fair enough. As we get into the other issues, there's a question that came from our live station chat room from Andy in New York. We have a group of people around the world online right now. And Alex, if I could put this to you, it says, I believe there will be no stability if the Taliban are threatening people with chopping off the fingers. Of course, referring to the Taliban factor here, the threats, the issue of security, which is limiting the number of, the way observers can get out, although I gather the monitors have been able to get out a fair amount. What role do you think the Taliban is playing in this election?
Well, Riz, I think that the election in many ways is a real test. On one hand, it's a test. The Taliban have said that they're going to disrupt this election. They did not do that, and they didn't say they would do it in either 2004 or 2005. And so in a way, they have thrown down the gauntlet, saying that they will disrupt this election. And on the other hand, the international community, together with the Afghans, have said that they will provide a free and fair election and provide a security, at least to the vast majority of Afghans, to be able to get out and vote. And so this election is not only a contest between the candidates, in many ways it's a contest between the insurgents on one hand and the government and the international community on the other. And so I think the outcome of the election is going to be critical not only in who wins, but in how the vote goes. And I want to say something, because I think that the caller said before something that I really strongly disagree with. There are millions of Afghans, thousands of candidates, and millions of voters who are taking real risks to participate. So the idea somehow that Afghans can't participate in democracy, I think, is ridiculous. The problems are in the institutions. Afghanistan hasn't developed its institutions sufficiently, but that's not to say that the Afghans aren't democratic and can't choose their leaders.
If I can put to you another one that came from live station from South Africa, from Khalid, who's in there, knowing the East and West as you do, it says, why can't the Afghans sort out their own problems? Why do they need intervention from outside countries?
Well, that's, of course, a long history. Afghanistan, both in terms of its near neighbors, Pakistan, Iran, Uzbekistan, of course, the Soviet Union, Saudi Arabia, as well as its farther neighbors, has for literally centuries been a contest of competition. Afghanistan is a small, poor, mountainous, landlocked country. And so long as there's division within Afghanistan that's stoked by external interference, the Afghan state, the Afghan nation, is simply not strong enough to stand up to that kind of interference and to remain stable.
Well, let's get a caller in from London. Ali is on the phone with us. Ali, what would you like to say?
Thank you very much. I would like to say that we are, as a youth, completely and utterly disappointed and frustrated what Mr. Karzai have done. And he collected the warlords, drug lords, and people. They don't have any specialization, and they is being tested by the Afghanistan people. So it is really a waste of time, and we repeat and repeat the same scenario, the same movie. And also, what is going on about Taliban, about suicide bomber, and about what is going on? This is all is being made by the government of by Karzai to attract, to show that to the Afghanistan that we are living in a very critical moment. But this is all deception.
Okay, Ali, I'm going to ask Mr. Hashimayan here to. I mean, we've been looking at Mr. Karzai's record according to some people here, but let me ask Mr. Hashimayan if I can put to you a question we got from Alex in Nigeria, who sent this through Facebook. Alex wrote in saying, the result of the election will not bring an end to the violence and chaos in Afghanistan. Is there generally that kind of pessimism that there will be no end to the violence, in your opinion?
Well, in my opinion, and I've already predicted in June in Afghanistan Mirror issue 112 that Karzai would not be able to secure the required 51% popular vote to win the election. So there will be a re-election. And in the case of a re-election, there are several questions to be raised. First of all, the time limit, 2 weeks from the results of this election is a very short period. Would the country be ready within the 2 weeks? Right. Secondly, who will refinance the re-election? And thirdly, the question of the security and the increased threats and the attacks. During the past 3 days, 7 provinces have been attacked. Okay. What will be the result of the re-election? And I believe in the case so far, America and the international community have remained neutral in this election. Well, but in the re-election, I think they will have a hand.
Okay, I'm going to get in. We got a call from Libya, which is it's good to hear from Libya. Abdul Basit, what would you like to add?
Yes, I would like to participate in this conversation. Please. Actually, from the beginning, what you're saying about Afghanistan facing challenges. I would ask Mr. Alexander whether it's your country that's in Afghanistan. What is the shortcomings first? It's which is freedom or peace.
Okay.
Once you see your country, it was occupied by many all over the world troops.
Abdul Basit, let me because we're short on time. Let's get a response from Alex there on that. Peace or democracy? What should come first?
Well, I think that for the United States government, it's peace. I think that stability in Afghanistan is the preeminent concern. But I think that the Obama administration, in spelling out its new strategy, has said that in order for there to be peace and stability in Afghanistan and the prevention of a safe haven for al-Qaeda, that you need something more than just the ability to shoot at terrorists. You actually need a state that has some capacity to deal with its own security, to deal with its neighbors, and to provide something to its population. And I think over time, what we've realized is that the type of state that does that best is a reasonably democratic state.
30 seconds to go, less than 30 seconds. Dr. Atash, do you expect a runoff election?
Yes, and I think all indications are that there will be a runoff election, but what the outcome of that runoff election would be as anybody's guess, because I think a lot of people would be in favor of the person who is bringing real change in Afghanistan and not with Karzai.
On that note, I want to thank you, gentlemen. We're always short on time and such an intense debate, but thank you very much for taking part. Mr. Hashimayan, thank you as well from Los Angeles.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And thanks for being with us with your questions. Don't forget, you can follow me and get updates on the topics we cover here on the show via Twitter. Be sure to tweet us your questions and any feedback so we can include them in the program. On the next show, we talk to the makers of the award-winning Jordanian film, Captain Abu Raid. It's a moving story that captured international attention, but also sheds light on the important subject of child abuse. That's it from me and the team for now. We'll see you next time.
Da